Hello everybody, Everyman Prepping here. Hope you're having a great day. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the USDA revised crop yield and crop projection updates that they just came out with. And then again, we're going to hit on the Mississippi River problems with the barges traveling because there's no water in the Mississippi River. Probably never thought you'd hear that, right? Please like the video, subscribe. Those of you that have subscribed recently, thank you so much. Please comment and share the video as well and hit that like button. So let's get on here with the articles. So here we go, talking about the USDA projects tighter corn and wheat supplies. Kind of something that I've been telling you for all along that, my other reports that they're coming out with numbers, I said the USDA is going to revise them. They're going to go down. They're always aggressive. The USDA's job basically is to calm the markets, not to spook the commodity markets, but to keep everybody calm and not cause any chaos, which is basically what's going on, but they're trying to stem that tide. So we see here that this is the 2022-23 ending stocks. Ending stocks are the amount on hand within the country of certain crops. This is so for corn. It says the USDA pegged the ending stocks at 1.172 billion bushels, and this is below their September estimate. These are October's estimates of 1.219 billion bushels. If I do math correctly, that's like 400 million bushels lower. Pretty good amount that they're lower. And trust me, these numbers are rosy. It's actually lower than that if you're looking at, actually farmers and what they're posting and what their crops are like. Like I said, USDA, the fact that they're lowering projections means it's pretty bad. They're just kind of easing the commodity market into it. Going on to soybeans, we have 200 million bushels ending stocks. They say this was no change from September, so take that for what it is. Wheat is 576 million bushels, below September's estimate of 610. That's another 40 million bushels there of lower. It's almost, was that 8% or so, 8% lower? Pretty good amount. Now we get yield projections. So this is what we thought we're bringing in. This is what the USDA thinks we're harvesting. So it says the USDA is expecting total corn production of 13.895 billion bushels. That's down from September's 13.944. Once again, down. All these are down or even. Only soybean was even, but everything else is down, much as I have told you about and was expected. Soybeans, 4.313 billion, down from 4.378. And finally, we get down here to corn, where we see that they projected 1.65 billion now, down from 1.783, what they had in September. And when they revise this again in November, it's going to go down further. So much as we've been talking about, the crop yields this year are horrible. They're getting lower, and this confirms it. And the USDA is just basically kind of easing us into it. So, like I said, I recently went out and bought some wheat berries, hard red winter wheat, some corn. You should, if you have the ability, do so yourself because there's not as much in stock, and it's going to go fast. Once they start turning this into food products in the upcoming year, you're going to see supplies, even dwindling further. I know you're seeing them shortages already in the stores, but it's going to get worse. So let's go on to the problems we're having with the Mississippi. So actually back on, I'll put a card up so you can see it now, but back on October 7th, I did a video on food shortages, let you know that Mississippi River was having barges bogged down. They couldn't move the barges because the Mississippi River is running dry. Something you probably never thought you would hear come out of my mouth, anybody's mouth, that the mighty Mississippi is running low, not enough rain. And so barges are stuck. So then back on the 10th, you see here that a massive logjam of more than 2,000 barges at various parts in the Mississippi is finally being cleared. This is from the 10th. It's finally being cleared. But it had a huge logjam. You can see them all stacked up here in this picture. So what happens when you stockpile stuff? You don't get it out to sale on time. You miss contracts. Maybe the food goes bad. We'll talk about more of that in a minute. But it says here that Bloomberg also reported 2 choke points, one near Stack Island, the other near Memphis, Tennessee. You can kind of see it. There's Memphis up here, Stack Island down here, where they had the choke points. And then finally we got here, it says the timing of the closure comes as barges transport harvested corn, soybean, wheat, and other farm goods from the Midwest to major export terminals in the Gulf of Mexico, causing barge prices to increase sharply because if you need to get your stuff moved and only a few barges are moving, they can charge more because there's more demand and not a lot of supply because you can't fit as many barges on the river because there's no water. So the prices went from $12 a ton to $90 a ton. That's about $8, $7.50, 7.5 times, I should say, not dollars, 7.5 to 8 times the cost. So what do you think that cost is going to do? Increase inflation, which we talked about yesterday. They said food prices went up 0.4%, I believe it was. We all know that's a giant lie. So get ready for more inflation coming because of this barge prices we're having. I know they're shipping a lot of this out, but it's also going to cause food prices to go up. And then we have this problem, which is, I think, going to be worse than just the slow traffic flow on the Mississippi, is massive bean piles are spotted up and down the Mississippi River as barges can't meet harvest demand. And I'm going to show you some video here. So it says, due to barge shortage and also low water, some farmers will have no choice but to store beans and other farm goods outside in massive piles. So they're going to pile this junk up on floor, maybe on tarps, on the dirt, cover it with a tarp, and wait until they can fill it onto a barge. And this is one near Memphis, Tennessee. We talked about Memphis, Tennessee being a choke point. Can't get it on a barge, so what do you do? I'll play this here for you real quick. As you can see, they're piling it. By the way, it's raining right now. You can see in the video. It's wet on the ground. You can see rain in the video. So they took a big pile of beans. They put it on the ground, cover the top with water. Does anybody think that's watertight at all? So let me just go ahead and stop that there. What happens when you put beans with moisture and water under a tarp and then it gets warm? You get germination maybe, so you're going to have sprouted beans, which are very healthy and everybody should do and eat them. They're good for you. But not very good for selling or transportation. And then you're going to get rot. If that, it's going to compost. Just the weight of the beans and the moisture on top of itself is going to cause a tremendous amount of heat and biodegradation. And basically you're going to lose thousands and thousands of bushels of food. That's what's going to happen, in my opinion, and in the opinion of others. Here we see, this is in Tunica, and you can see another giant pile. You see all the beans on the ground here, on the floor here. They're maybe inside of a bin, but they're covered. That's just going to cook in there. Condensation is going to form. Not good. And here's one person said, quote, "I'm hearing lots of beans being piled on the ground along the lower Mississippi due to no barge traffic. It's a regular occurrence here in SESD. I'm not sure what that stands for, but we are prepared with pads, bunks, and air traps. Some warm and wet weather down south, and I can see very, very bad things happening." Yeah, I think a lot of bad things are going to happen to that. It's all going to get wasted. Another Twitter thing here. Mississippi River is so low, it is closed to barge traffic, so the farmers are trying to unload their harvest, and they can't. Our farmers have really taken a beating this year, and they have. You had fertilizer, you had all the weather issues, drought, coming, a late starting plant to the frost, and then you had the drought, and now you have the fact that you had fertilizer super expensive, and then you got to harvest it now, and now you can't ship it out, so it's going to rot in a pile. The harvest, now most of these farmers have insurance, so they're going to claim insurance, so they might get the money back or part of it, but you can't eat all that wasted food, right? You can't eat what you didn't harvest, you can't eat what didn't ship, so food shortages. Also, their insurance rates are going to skyrocket, or maybe some insurance companies are go under. And that's not going to be helpful to the economy and the recession as well. Then we have another one here. This picture is from Vicksburg, Mississippi. It's in normal times, the water should be up to the dock. And I think they're talking up here in the upper left. The water should be way up here. You see one barge. I mean, does it even look like the Mississippi River to you? That's crazy. And then we have a steamship, or old style looking steamship, basically ditched on the side of the Mississippi. It's amazing how low the Mississippi River is. If you're in that area and you can send pictures or links to photos, please do so in the comment. Comment below with what you're seeing along the Mississippi and how if you see barges or you see beans on the ground, let us know in the comments below. Spread the word. And this is that same chart from the last one where it shows that $90 a ton. You can see that huge spike in the cost of shipping down the Mississippi. So, as a summary to all this is what we have. We have the USDA admitting to lower yields, which means they're really lower because they're, like I said, trying to calm everybody down. And then you have barge traffic going because the Mississippi is driving. I mean, it's almost biblical. When does the Mississippi dry up? But barge traffic not going. beans, probably corn, probably wheat, just stacked on the ground or on tarps, under other tarps, getting rained on, basically cooking and turned into compost. All in all, not good. Maybe they can use it for animal feed after that, but probably not human consumption. So keep stacking your food. Get it now while you can, while they still have some left over before more of the sits. Because if this doesn't get shipped because it gets ruined, they're going to take from domestic supplies to meet those shipping contract. You know what's going to happen because they're going to try to make that money. They're going to steal from the domestic supply to ship and export. It's going to happen. So get what you can now. Secure your family's food for the future. Watch out for inflation. Like I said, spend your money now on the food. You can do it now. Put it in long-term storage so it doesn't go bad, but it's going to be your greatest investment out there. Look forward to having a great weekend. Take your time out at this time for, like I said, do some preps, do some training, take your kids out, your family, train with them on something, even if it's a fire drill in your house or earthquake drill or tornado, safety drill. Do some type of training for prepping, and then enjoy the weekend as well. Until next time, keep your ear to the ground and head on a swivel.